Okay, y'all. It's me. Usually I'm pulling in a garage. And this time I'm pulling out. These folks is out here walking. These boys, and I wonder what would possess them to walk like this in the street. You know how when people is out on crime scenes and they walking side by side? Like when they, really doing a real strategic hunt. That's what these rascals is doing. They don't see this car encroaching behind them. They don't have no problem. You'll see them. And it just dawned on them that it was a vehicle back there. They pulled over at the last minute. Or pulled over, stepped over, whatever. Anyway, there's always something going on. Okay, I did a video earlier, which seems to be like the story of my life the last 3 weeks. And the one that I did earlier, though it had some points in it that I wanted to say, I got real chatty, as usual. And so, what I was doing was talking to y'all while I was getting my menu for the week together. And because one of the things I had kind of noticed is one thing I don't care for is I don't care for routines, okay? Because I have so many that I have to adhere to, that when I don't have to be a part of one, I choose not to. Spontaneity is underrated. But what I have also found out is that I cannot be spontaneous when it comes down to planning my meals. I have got to plan. Now, what I have also learned is I don't care for meal prepping. Like right now, it's just not, it just has no appeal to me at all. And the idea, these little kids is out. These rascals is out in full force. And I mean, it's little ones that's out here on these bicycles, the kind that you can't see. Well, I'm making like they little miniature, like Weebles or something. I don't mean it like that, but they real small. And if it wasn't for these little bright headpieces and stuff, helmets they got on, you wouldn't be able to see something. Like that little thing didn't even look like it was big enough to be on a bicycle. But it was. She wasn't moving, so she might just be, yuck. Anyway, never mind. I don't even want to say it was a squirrel. I didn't hit him. He was already busted up. But, let me get back to what I was talking about. The deal is that meal prepping for me, I find out for me that I end up wasting money. And the reason why I'm saying that is because by Wednesday, I'm over what I have eaten on Monday, Tuesday. If you put it down in front of me, it's almost like revolt or something, like, not interested. And I really don't want to, I was coming up here. There's too many people up here. Change my mind. You have these minutes where you just want to get in and get out. Or you just want to, I won't say get in and get out. That's in and out is the hamburger place. Yeah, I said it. But where you want to not be in them crowds. And see, that little store right there, I like it, but sometimes people in there can be snooty. Like sometimes, like you can go in Whole Foods and into sometimes in Sprouts in certain neighborhoods, and you would think that these people is sitting up here going up to the counter and getting, pulling out a deposit from Fort Knox. It's just food. I mean, you don't get if you get your status from the ability to go in the grocery store and buy food at a specific grocery store, you have some issues that need to be looked at. That's my own personal opinion. And I have found that people really feel themselves, when they are in certain grocery stores, they're enlightened. Their sense of being, and this is the way that they behave. Their sense of being, their sense of whatever it is heightened, and everybody else is just a squirrel in their world. And it is really nauseating, for real, y'all. And it ain't in my mind. But back to what I was saying. I was doing my menu earlier, and what I have found that works for me is just menu planning, plain and simple. This is what I'm gonna eat, and then some days I swap it up, and then there are other days where I just go down, boop, 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 boop. But this particular week, I have a goal that I want to meet. And so it has taken me a little bit of time to kind of like do a little prepping, not prepping, but planning, because not that I'm slashing calories, I'm not doing nothing like that. It's just that, you know, I'm really, really looking at how this thing is going to impact me, because I'm really aware, you know, we might have 0-point foods, but every last one of them foods still got calories attached to it. And I have been experiencing calorie boredom. Not calorie boredom, food boredom, menu boredom. And I kind of mentioned, responded or said something on somebody's channel that I do, you know, I have been, it was Kim, Fit and Fabulous, had made this comment about she just not gonna eat sad food, like, you know, sad, not standard American diet food, that she wasn't gonna eat food that she didn't want to eat. And she gave the analogy of people eating foods like, you know, that they just flat out don't like folks forcing themselves to eat like what is it? I think she said Greek yogurt or something like that, and they know they don't like it, but they were eating it anyway. And I just thought that was interesting, you know, and I know that people do it. I'm that way, not about food, unless it's something that has to do with health. But I'm still, even when I'm doing that, I'm looking for an alternative. You trust and believe. And so, but I will do that when it comes down to supplements and things like that. So, when she made that comment, it was just similar to a statement that I was talking to this friend of mine, and I just told her, I said, I personally, I'm not going to be sitting up here just eating one chicken breast after another chicken breast after another chicken breast. And it's not, I mean, I believe that the possibilities are endless if you want to take our time to do all that. But if I'm going to be eating, and you told me that, you know, the world basically is my oyster. In other words, as long as I'm planning for it and staying within what my points and stuff are, that I should have success. And for me not to limit myself to feel like all I can eat is 0-point foods and all I can eat is this, that, that, and the other. Why would I do that to myself when I know that that's not the way that I normally like to eat? And so, I had, you know, I just look at different places, and I find different recipes. I have, you know, I just look in different books. And sometimes I get off the beaten path and look for stuff. And just kind of adapt it. So this week when they were talking about that in our Weight Watchers meeting, they kind of struck a chord with me that just kind of got on my nerves a little bit. And you know, I'm not beholden to, I don't know. I still always am going to think for myself. And I know me better than anybody else would. I would like to believe anyway. And, on the earth. And, when they started talking about if you're going to plan for something, plan where you're going to eat it and who you're going to eat it with. And all of this, That's too much thinking for me. It's not that it's, if I have an event coming up, I can see all that. Especially if I know it's going to be something there that I might want to eat. But again, in my mind, where I go to is too much thinking about food. Where I want to be is on Saturday or Sunday or Friday night. Not Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, but one of those days I want to sit down. I want to think about what it is that I have planned for the upcoming week as far as meals are concerned. And I'm not just talking about dinner. I'm talking about breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then I want to get those foods. I want to have them in a way or in a place where I can get to them. And that's pretty much all I really want to be thinking about until it comes down to preparing the food. To me, that's normal. To me, that's what people that don't have this rumination is the word that really comes to mind, and that's the reason why I'm saying it, about food. That's how I see. That lady is really pretty. She's an older lady. Her hair is white as snow, and she is flat out gorgeous. Anyway, I don't know. Older people just something else. They cute. She moving around good too. But I just just kind of look. I'm trying to move myself toward responding, reacting, and relating with food the way that people normally do. Not the way that I want to, or I should say, not the way that I have been doing, because it's my way of doing it it hasn't been normal, and I don't want to be just, this is all I'm thinking about. I'm going to say this, and I'm sure that it may very well be offensive. Somebody might fire back and say, well, ain't that what the meetings are about? But when I go to my meeting, we spend so very little time on, to me, this is my own personal opinion, on the subject. This past week, I had decided that I wasn't going to weigh in. I really had some issues the last week and a half, to be totally honest. And I just didn't feel right in my mind. I started thinking like this on Wednesday evening. Just go to your meeting on Saturday. Now Wednesday, I'm thinking about going to the meeting on Saturday when I should have been focusing on Wednesday. That Wednesday, I'm not going to get back. And here I am 3 days down the road, when I'm not enjoying where I am right here, because I'm sitting up here way down the road. And so, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, I'm not gonna, when I go on Saturday, I don't feel like I want to weigh in. I'm just gonna take a pass, but I'm gonna go to my meeting. Y'all, I'm not kidding. And I thought about that Wednesday. I thought about it Thursday. I thought about it Friday. And then on Saturday morning, when I got up and went to my meeting, I went in there like a little robot. Kind of, sort of, it was robotish. And I instinctively took off my jacket. I put my purse down and my stuff, and I went to the scale and got on the scale. I didn't even think about, at that point, about not weighing in, but I had given my mind a whole bunch of space to talk about that and to think about that, and that was wrong. It was, to me, it wasn't the correct way to be thinking, looking at things. And so after I got through with that, just, I weighed in. I lost 1.8 pounds, which is what I had gained last week. So basically, I evened my playing field back out again, which is good, because my intent was to at least lose what I had gained, and if possible to, lose more. But my attitude wasn't right. And so, to get in the meeting, and we're talking about food and our relationship with food and trigger, basically old term trigger foods and all of that. For us to spend time talking about some things that to me I couldn't like make jive with the topic, which happens quite often. We spent probably a total of maybe about 5 minutes out of the time for a meeting talking about the booklet and the topic. And I'm not really sure what I think about that. And the person that is at this particular location, don't tell me to turn her in. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to even, and the reason why I'm saying I'm not going to do it is because this person has been at this location for decades. And I'm not making a joke of it. Not only does she do it at that location, she does it at other locations too. Now, I don't know how she is at other locations. All I got to go off is what I'm experiencing. And it's just me, and it's my take on it. And so that doesn't necessarily mean that, it's my vantage point. So I'm out of that. My purpose for going to Weight Watchers is to learn skills, which I am. I can read that booklet on my own, which I did. I can pick the parts out that I agree with and some that I can go like meh about. And there were some this week. There are some things that I just will not, even though they were trying to, the way that it was presented to us was nothing's off limit. That's true. It's on the commercials, it's in the book, it's in the magazine, it's what's being taught. But for me, there are some things that are off limits. I don't care who I'm sitting with and where I'm sitting with them. Haagen-Dazs coffee flavored ice cream ain't safe. And the thing is that people, unless you have people that are around you that are real, that are might rude or force themselves into positions and places where they're not supposed to be at, most people ain't gonna say nothing to you about what you eating. If they see you sitting there eating a pint of ice cream, they might talk about you later, but the ones I know, they ain't gonna say nothing to me. And it's not because I done jumped down anybody's throat before or anything like that. It's just that people know the struggles that I have had with weight. And so they probably looking at it as, well, I ain't gonna say nothing because that might hurt her feelings. I hear people in the meeting all the time talk about how they people be going off on them, saying all kind of stuff. And if I had to deal with that from a family standpoint, I don't know how well I would deal with it. But that's not my story. It's not what I have to do or deal with, I should say. So Haagen-Dazs ice cream is really on my do not eat list. It's not something that I can play with. It's not anything that I need to be finding some type of, ice creamery that has something similar to it and just going and getting a scoop. It's something I don't need to mess with at all. Because I might not go get the Haagen-Dazs, but I will tell you that 9 times out of 10, I'm going to get something close to it. Or it might not even be anything that's even ice creamish. It could be just something sweet. Remember, I'm telling y'all now, I'm probably not going to meet my goal by the end of the month of not eating sweets and all that stuff. Now, I can clearly tell you that my sweet eating has diminished drastically. Now, that I can say. But to just be able to say in all truth and honesty that I'm not going to be eating any sweets at the end of the month and from here until eternity, right now, I'm still not there. And I can see it. But I'm not giving up on that because it's just, you just got to, I have been doing this for so long, I'm just not willing to turn in throw the towel in, turn the lights out on myself, or any of that. I'm just not ready to do that. So, yesterday something interesting happened. This is a long video. Again. When I left my meeting, I went to Whole Foods, and that's why I had that little rant about the first grocery store that I went to. just a minute ago, because I got my feel of that yesterday. And when I was coming out, no, excuse me, when I was going in, one of the ladies that I go to Weight Watchers with was coming out. She's not a person I converse with. She doesn't converse with me. Most of the time, well, I just leave it at that. But she was coming out, and I was going in, and we were like passing like this. So it was like, okay, I'm not going to be rude. I'm going to speak to you. And so I know she knows who I am. And I told her, I said, well, you have a good week. Now, I didn't do to her what somebody did to me about a month and a half ago. I had some clothes. I didn't want to just like donate these clothes because I had spent some money for these clothes. Most of them were my business suit stuff and all of that kind of stuff. And so I took the stuff to consignment at the suggestion of my mom. I had never put anything on consignment before. And I walk in the store, and it's this woman that's in my Weight Watchers group that runs the consignment store. When I walked in there, how about she makes a big announcement? And the store's not empty, and it's not like huge, but it was people in there, and people just kind of looked up. And she was like, oh, my Weight Watchers sister. And we're, she went on and she was talking, and it was just kind of like, oh, ha, ha, ha. So everybody, like, is looking, and I was like, okay, your personality is such that you don't mind everybody knowing you're on Weight Watchers, and it's not like it's some type of, like, scarlet letter or nothing. It's just that that's my business. And I don't understand that. I didn't understand it. And I was just like, I responded as nice as I could, but the part of me just wanted to go like, cut it off enough, because she went on for quite a few minutes. And she let everybody that was working behind the register with her know that I went to Weight Watchers with her and where our location was and all that. It was quite a bit for me. And I really wasn't going to have that reaction with that lady. But what I did end up experiencing was, she said, well, yeah, and don't look in my bag. Well, you're coming out of the store with a brown Whole Foods paper bag with handles on it, and you're walking. I normally don't make it a habit of tackling people and looking in their bags and making judgments on what they bought. Hardly, like, ever. Like, never, ever, ever have I ever. And she said, because I had to have such and such today. Just today, though. Just today. I wouldn't have never known that was in her bag if she hadn't said it. And all I did was, when I went in the store, I just went. I said, well, all I'm saying is have a good week. And I went on in the store, and I stood there for a second because I had pause about that whole exchange. And here it is. I don't know, even if I was standing behind you in the store and you had what you told me you had in your bag up on that conveyor belt, who am I that you felt like you needed to inform me about that was for you and you were going to be eating it just for today? Somebody in your car could have told you, oh yeah, by the way, while you in there, get me XXX. Or you could have been buying that for somebody at your house. Or, it's just, the scenarios are endless. And all I could think about was still an unhealthy relationship with food, and how other people view your consumption of food. This lady, to me, doesn't look like she needs to lose any more than like 10 pounds. Her 10 pounds are a big deal to her. I'm sure just like a person that needs to lose 100 pounds is, a big deal to them. But that response to me let me know that even with her size, we are still concerned about what people think about what we do and the reason why we do it. if she felt like she wanted to have that, I'm not the food police. I'm not going to turn you in. I'm not going down to the post office and put, a sign up on the most wanted board with you and what the bail, not the bail, but, the reward is. That's not me. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing. Nor is anybody else supposed to be doing that either. And I wouldn't have said anything to her, like I said, if I'd have been in line and saw everything that she was purchasing. Nor would I have expected that from her, because the same rules that apply to that situation as it pertains to her, same thing for me. But I understood it. And that was the thing that let me know that it don't matter. The size don't matter. We still got these things that go on that are similar in our head. How we view, what we think, and how we perceive. As for people that need to lose weight, it's all similar. And that's the reason why basic concepts, when we go to these meetings, ring true on different levels with all kind of people that are shapes, sizes, cultures, genders, all of that. It was just interesting. And I can't say that I would not have felt, I wouldn't have verbalized it, but I probably may have felt even some kind of way if it had been me and she was in the store behind me and I was buying anything other than 0 point foods and alkaline water or whatever. I probably would have had some kind of feeling. So it's just something to think about, y'all, and this is my Sunday musing, I guess. And I guess I'm making up for lost time, because last week my hindquarters about quit YouTube. I was just like this close. And my friend Evelyn kind of, she said something to me that kind of made me look at things a little bit different and stuff. So I'm still here. But I am going to be quiet and go in here. This is my list. It looks like it's 2 pages long, but it's really just 1 page. This is actually the list right here. And it looks like it's big, but it's not big. It's just that I got it broke down in different areas of the store, because I'm just going in here to get this. This is the actual menu for the week right here. And I'll transfer. I'll listen to my little book, and I have a dry erase board that I'll write the menu for the week up on. So I don't have to be standing in there, well, what am I going to eat? I ain't got to be thinking about that. And I know if I do, and I go off the grid, it is a willful act for which I must take responsibility. Anyway, y'all, I'm not finna hang up. I'm getting ready to turn this off. And I will talk to y'all later. Toodles.